Last week, a mother asked a question about the soul of her 17-year-old son who was raised Catholic in a good Catholic home, but wandered away from his faith and was killed suddenly in a car accident. Remember that one? She asked if praying for his soul might help his chances for salvation. Fathers responded that God in his mercy can, at a particular judgment, give a soul another chance to accept Jesus. Could Father Spitzer just cite some sources, biblical, catechetical church fathers, that would support his position? I'm not asking for a long explanation, but if you could guide me to some of those sources, I can find it. I teach Catholicism 101 to prison inmates, so that's important. So this is important to me. If you could show them that, where is that? I know we talked a little bit about, I know Faustina's diary, I know talks a little bit about that, but are there other sources we can cite?
Yeah, if you go to the Catechism of the Catholic Church and look up the section on purgatory, there they cite some passages from St. Paul about praying for the dead, from, I believe it is 1 Timothy and from Thessalonians, right, that talk about, praying for the dead. Part of the reason for praying for the dead, right, Paul doesn't specify that it's only for the sake of helping a soul to move through purgatory. He just tells these people, right, pray for the dead. Why? Because, of course, there is always, right, there's the time of judgment, right, and of course the time of judgment, there's nothing, that says that the judgment is just going to be, lickety-split, God's going to make the decision, right, and so forth, right, but instead, says St. Paul, we have to believe that God is actually going to take somebody and transform, that person, enter into their consciousness and ask them the question, right, about whether they're going to move to the kingdom or not going to move to the kingdom, right? Now, I think God would almost know immediately whether somebody was going to explicitly repudiate him, right, and if that were the case, right, I think that might be a more summary judgment. But I think judgment is a very complex thing, and I think it really is rooted in the notion of justice, right, which is very, very different from the legalistic or Roman or Greek view of justice that we have. This is a Hebrew view of justice, which of course has this notion of complexity in it, right, and that notion of complexity is God dialoguing with us. But go to the section on purgatory there in your Catechism of the Catholic Church, and you'll get those citations, on purgatory and why we should pray for the dead, and that'll give you a starting point. And of course, if you give me your email address, I can go ahead and give you some other passages which will help you as well.
And one way or the other, your prayers will not be wasted. They will be put to good use, whether they are for you or for anybody else who may be in purgatory looking for your prayers.